Uh, and so I wanted to kind of walk you through some different presentation techniques that you can integrate into your boards that you're doing right now. So this isn't exactly you guys' plan, but the principles remain the same. Okay. So here I have my furniture plan, and I went ahead and blew it up because what I had was at an 1/8 inch scale. So if I blow it up times 2, it's going to give me a 1/4 inch scale. Makes it a little bit easier to read. And instead of putting this on my board where I'm putting all this effort into making it really attractive, right? Well, that's not going to work. So what I did is, you guys have already seen this, and this isn't done, but this is a rendering that I've started of the two, or this is actually the 1-point perspective. So this is a rendering that I've started for 1-point perspective. What I did is I went ahead and I photographed or photocopied my plan onto the same cardstock, because this will perk it up a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to show you some different things that you can do, because part of your assignment is for you to render your plan, or not just your 2-point perspective, but also to render your material plan. So let me see if I can get this adjusted so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, great. So one of the things that you can do is, and it's always helpful if you have your materials, like this is the material that I'm using for my flooring. All right, so we have, and you can look on the back, this is a 6-inch wide piece of wood. So roughly these are going to be 6-inch strips. But part of what I have is I've got lots of darks and lights. So what do I have here? Got cool gray, which should be about perfect. All right, so you want to start with fairly, not super sharp yet. I'm not going full black, I'm going charcoal gray. And I'm going to use the side of the pencil. Don't try to cover everything, all right? It's not going to look right if you try to cover absolutely everything. But try to get some shading in there. Remember, you're going to have your furniture will be labeled. And I'll show you some tips on that here in a little bit as well. Try to be as tidy as you can. Inevitably, you might go over, but it's colored pencil, so you can just come back with your eraser if it gets a little too nutty and just tidy it up again. Now, our instinct when it comes to this, and our instinct is to add black lines or dark lines when we're doing flooring. I wouldn't. I'm working with a darker piece, so I'm going to actually use a very light gray. It's almost white, okay? And I want my flooring to run the length of my room. Notice I'm not going all the way across. I'm keeping it fairly random. You do want to keep your tip. I kind of rotate my pencil as I go because it helps keep an edge on the tip of my pencil. And if it starts to get too, if you lose the edge on your pencil, just give it a nice little sharpen, all right? Because you'll get a cleaner line and it'll look nicer. Now, so you could see I actually have the lines for my flooring now. Now, part of what you can do is you come back and you could do some slight wood graining. I would not do it on every single piece. It starts to look rather cartoonish if you do that. So that would not be my suggestion. And when you're doing wood grain, you're almost acting like you're doing them almost in an ellipse, and you add that in. All right. The next thing I would probably do is I would go ahead. I have, if I can do this without making my computer fall, this was going to be my rug for the room. And so there's a lot of soft taupes and grays and with a little bit of green in here. So what I would do is I would come back and I would go ahead, I'd map in where my border is. Okay. And then what I would do is I would just do a real light because these are leaves and florals. Okay, and some of you have heard me talk about this before. I wouldn't try to get too literal. I would try to kind of keep a gesture of what, because keep in mind you're looking at this from a distance. Remember, this is a 1/4 inch scale versus something that's really close up. So I'm going to keep this very loose and not get overly specific. Okay. But what it's doing is it's allowing you to differentiate between what is a rug and what is going to be a dark wood floor. All right. Then what I would do, and I'll show you when I have this completed, is I'll go ahead and I'll cut this out. I'll have my furniture labeled, and I'll have this as part of my presentation. This will look much stronger than this. All right. This will complement when I have this finished. All right. So this is just one of the presentation techniques that I suggest to really enhance your work, because the whole idea is to be able to enhance your ideas and to be able to get your client to buy into your vision and understand your vision. So your presentation techniques are going to be part of this. But here in a minute, I'll probably do another video and I'll show you some other rendering techniques, but I like to keep these kind of short. So I'll talk to you here in a little bit. Bye.